Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott. You, my dear little friends, have wandered onto the Prog Corner and our weekly live stream. Today, I've put together the dream team. Kevin from Prog Radio is here. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing great.
Kiefer, my fellow Ohioan, is in the house.
Let's see if I can get this thing on the right way.
Oh,
every time I wear this,
right there, perfect.
Every time I wear this, the Bengals win. So I got to do this again. Go Bengals today.
Okay, go Bengals. Cody, you don't care about American football, do you?
I wouldn't. I'm not a sports guy.
No.
I can tell Alex rocking the Ohio State Buckeyes gear. Happy with the #1 ranking. I am looking forward to University of Miami, Ohio State national championship game. How about that?
I love it. I think that sounds great. That sounds like let's go to that game too.
Yep, yeah. Let's drink to that. Hurricanes versus Buckeyes. There you go. Brad Stone, what's going on all the way in the Golden State, man? California, it's bright and early. Brad, did you have to set your alarm clock?
It's bright and early. No, I'm usually up pretty early because my cat makes sure that he wants his breakfast at 6 o'clock. So, but I've got it is bright and early because so I'm in my radio studio, which is a loft in my house, and there's a dormer, and the sun is coming directly on my head, and it's kind of hard to. There, I got away from it.
I like the morning light creeping in. You know, this is a 1-hour show, so it'll retreat and recess as the show goes on. It'll be a nice time lapse effect. Hey,
exactly.
Brett Bristow got some big news. Emerald City Council going to be playing their first ever live gig. Brett, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Last week when you guys were talking about, your sports shirts, I didn't wear it today, but it didn't come up, but I wore a Star Trek shirt last week for everyone in America that doesn't care about sports. but it never came up. But yeah, doing good. We're getting ready for the show next week, and also this week, the track that I did with This Winter Machine is out now, and then also the master class that Neil Morris did with how to make a progressive rock album that I was featured as a guest is now out as a digital download. Neil sent it to me on Friday to check out, so I finally got to see what I did on it a year and a half, and I'm pretty proud of how it came out. So anybody interested in that, go check it out. Definitely worth.
I like that. I like that, Brent. You're big time in it. That Neil Morris is actually name dropping you.
I know. Yeah, he
kind of good, right?
Yeah, he sent out an email and he said I brought along some legendary guests, and he had Steve Morris, Roy Stolt, Bill Hubauer, and then Rich Mauser, and then me. With a couple other people. And I was like, well, I don't know if I'm legendary, but I'm not going to argue with Neil too much.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's amazing, Brent.
Rounding out our panel today, none other than Alberta's #1 YouTuber. It's Wayne. How you doing, sir? You ready to talk about 1974?
Yep, definitely ready to talk about 1974.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed, you do. 1974 might have been one of my favorite years of all time. Who wants to talk about the 4 albums that are up for discussion today first? Who's got a slideshow presentation? Oh. I don't think we want to lead off with Kiefer. No, I don't think the people are ready for that. Let's bury Kiefer to the middle of the show somewhere. And you know what? We haven't had Alex on the show for a while. I'm excited to have you back. Thank you for joining the panel on late notice. I'm like, really want Alex on the show. For some reason, I was thinking I need to get Alex back. I know what it is. It's the fact that the show has been acting like so unprofessional and so juvenile. I needed something to class up the joint. There's only one Kevin on the show. So, what can I do? Bring in Alex. All the way from Columbus, Ohio, which is like 50 miles from me.
That's right.
Alex.
Well, yeah.
What's going on?
Hey, well, thanks for having me back on. I don't know if I'll be able to, church this place up any more than anybody else can, but I'll do my best. So, I mean, do you want me to to just talk generally? Do you want me to rank them right now? Do you want me to just like go out and just do it? Like what would you?
I want you to rank them. Tell me how you feel about them. Just get jiggy. If there's other records you want to talk about, hey, it's your 5 minutes. You do whatever you want.
I appreciate that. Well, getting jiggy is always part of the deal, but so okay, I will say this: these four albums that we're talking about, or that were part of this or whatever, those are the 4 I pulled. I love every single one of them. So it's like I feel like whenever we do the rankings thing, it's always like something's got to be number 4. It just has to be. And so it's not like I dislike it. It's just it's got to go somewhere. So I do love, for people who don't know, Beer and Vinyl YouTube channel, but progressive rock.
Pick yourself up, please. It's your time. Do it.
Yeah, but it's like progressive rock's kind of a it's like my favorite genre of music and big collector and all that type of stuff. So it was good to kind of revisit these again. And I will say this: I went in kind of with a preconceived notion of what the 4 would be, and then re-listening to everything proved it. So I felt pretty good about that. But coming in at number 4, I'm going to go with Todd's Utopia. And I'll say this too. I love me some Todd Rundgren. I know he's gotten like a bad rap over the years because of like Skylarking and XTC. I know you probably don't like him for that reason, Scott. It's like if he can't get along with Andy Partridge, the whole thing there.
Oh man, that was a pretty good impression right there. Actually,
that's not bad, right? So, but I love Todd as a writer, as a producer. I mean, his producing credits are just out of control when you think about all the stuff that he has done. And this was just so out there and completely different than everything he was doing at the time. I mean, what was it? This was right at the time that Todd, his double album, was coming out. It's after Wizard True Star. It's after Something Anything, all that type of stuff, which are all just like amazing kind of poppy, power poppy, all over the place, avant pop records. And so, to put this out and just the lineup he puts together with like 3 keyboardists and just this insane live show. I mean, it's just to me, it is the epitome of excess without being too pretentious in all the ways. I mean, the other thing too, and this was with all of Todd's records, this is a 59-minute record. But again, so are all of them. It's like you have the Icon, which is 30 minutes, and it's like a Miles Davis record at this point. But I mean, it's amazing, right? I think there's no doubt that this holds such a huge, important role in the pantheon of progressive music and in 1974. So that is my number 4. Here's where I don't know. I told Kiefer, I was like, I feel like I'm going to be a contrarian, not on purpose, but the other thing too, and not that I have to say these things. This is our opinion. This is not like Scott, your show is so professional. I'm here to bring the more professionalism to it. I am not a critic. I am not a writer. I am not these are just whatever speaks to me more. I'm going to go with Power and the Glory at number 3. Now, Gentle Giant, at this point, I mean, they are arguably putting together a streak of, 6 flawless records? I mean, rivaled, by only a handful of artists ever. I mean, the streak that they were on during this point, I mean, they're one of those artists that, or one of those bands that my favorite record of them changes weekly. And sometimes it's this one, and sometimes it's Octopus, and sometimes it's In a Glass House. So it's all over the place. But this is like that next level prog, though, right? I mean, this is not if someone came to you and they're like, I think I'm interested in progressive music, I don't know if Gentle Giant would be the first band that I would recommend. They're a little more like advanced. But man, I mean, it starts with Proclamation and just like right out the gate, it's just absolutely incredible. So absolutely nothing bad to say about this record. Gentle Giant, I just love some of the other stuff a little bit more. So there's that.
Hey, Alex, look, we got a real live girl in the house.
Call me. All right. So
we welcome all our prog fans. It's not just the boys club. There's lots of women that enjoy prog rock. So thanks for joining us today, Janice. You're the best.
Heck, yeah.
Number 2. That to be true when I met Tara through here.
That's right. That's right.
I was there.
Prog love, baby.
You were.
Now, one of the first Prog Corner shows that I was on that you ever invited me on, Scott, this years ago, we ranked our favorite Kansas record or favorite Kansas tracks.
Yeah.
And not to spoil anything, but I do know that this is your favorite Kansas record, right?
Yeah.
And so this is my number 2. And I don't know, I mean, it's always like funny to me too, like re-listening to this and still the conversation that is had about like, is Kansas Prog or they AOR? And you're like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't understand. Like, just tell me that you haven't listened to Kansas. Like, just say it.
Right. Absolutely.
And so, actually similar though to Gentle Giant and that kind of streak, the first 5 Kansas records to me I would have a hard time differentiating all of them in terms of just how great they are. But man, I mean, this is just so good. It's not even I hate to critique it because it's like number 2, it's an amazing record, right? They would always throw in that like one random boogie tune, and here they throw in like that JJ Cale song, and like it's fine. It doesn't it doesn't hurt my feelings. But I'm like, yeah, whatever. They always have to throw it in there. But man, Death of Mother Nature Suite, this closing this thing out is just absurd. Journey from Maria Barone is just amazing. I love Kansas. I love this record. All that kind of stuff. Which means though that the number 1, and Cody, you're a vinyl nerd, so you'll get this, but don't hate it too much because the cover is absolutely destroyed. But number 1 for me is Crime. And the MoFi, for the nerds out there, the MoFi. Now, this was actually the first MoFi that was ever released. Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab was Dark Side of the Moon. The second one that was released was Crime of the Century.
What year was that, Alex?
1979.
Okay, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I absolutely love this record. I mean, actually, and here's the other thing too. Talking about these, there's always like one track that I'm not crazy about. And the one track on this record that I'm not crazy about is Dreamer. It just doesn't do much for me. I appreciate it because I think it was obviously a single. It was a little bit of a hit for them. I'm sure it brought some exposure, all that good stuff. But that's like the one track on here that I don't lose my bananas about. So, but man, just the title track on here, that build at the end is just not even on the album, not even in 1974, but in like music period, that build, that big crescendo where like the piano comes back in at the end is like my favorite moment in like music period.
It's a big moment.
So good. So
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's my 4. Looking forward to seeing everybody else's.
Awesome. Kiefer, let's see if your slideshow's working. I think we've gone from the peak of professionalism, which is, of course, Alex at the Beer and Vinyl channel. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, please do so. It's awesome. Let's see here. What do we got, Kiefer?
Okay, where's the picture at? Wow. Is it loading on everybody else's end?
Yeah.
Why are we in the middle of the slideshow?
That's the middle? I don't know. Do you want to control it there?
There we go. Some favorites from 1970. I do not know who these people are. They were just in the background when I was looking up Google Slides backgrounds 1974. These people showed up. So yeah, if any of you 3 are watching, my email is scottlade@gmail.com.
I think that's not my email.
That almost looks like Scott Bonaducci there, doesn't it? Just a little bit.
Yeah, that's Scott Bonaducci right there.
Or is that his name? The guy from Partridge Family?
That was Danny.
The guy looks like the dad from
that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
from the
Robert
Partridge
Reed.
Family.
Yeah,
or from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got some favorites from 74, some favorite records, and if I forget anything, just let me know. 2 records from Deep Purple this year. Burn.
Yes.
And where's the other one? Stormbreaker. If you put a gun to my head today, probably my 2 favorite Purple albums. So, yeah, I had to talk about them. Vocals in this are amazing. Production's amazing. Every track is amazing. Yeah, go buy them.
Wow, Keeper's right.
I figured I'd throw this in here since it's along with Red, a tie for my favorite Crimson album. Starless and Bible Black. Fracture and Starless are my two favorite Crimson songs. So, yeah, go buy that one too. I'm going to be making a lot of people broke today. Okay, this is for Ken Golden, if he's watching, and for Kevin, and for all you, and Cody, and all you Kiss haters out here.
That's the best one.
I like that album. So
That album.
That was the very first album I bought at 6 years old. I
so good.
Still have it. Still have it.
Let me tell you what. This is a prog rock album.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know about that. But it's a good.
The opening of Nothing to Lose is in 7.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Okay.
And Black Diamond has that little where it just slows down for like 2.5 minutes. This is a prog rock album.
and I recall on the first one, there's also an instrumental too, right?
There is Love Theme from Kiss. Yeah.
It gets no better than the love theme from Kiss.
I think I like this one a little better. Hotter Than Hell. Well, I said Creatures is my favorite the other week. Yeah, this might be my favorite. I don't know. To me, I don't even care. People crap on how this sounds. I don't really care. It's a Kiss album. Are you really worried about the production? But yeah,
that's a valid point. You know, you're so right. I mean, Hotter Than Hell has gotten a lot of heat over the years because, let's face it, it does not sound great, but it's a Kiss album. It's not a Steely Dan album. What do you want? What do you expect? Thank you, Kiefer.
It's Watching You, Mainline, Gotta Choose. I even like Going Blind, which nobody likes that song except me. Parasite. In that room over there, at one point in my life, I think I repeated Parasite I played it on YouTube about 30 times consecutively. Just over and over and over again. That song is amazing. I don't care what anybody says. Ace is a killer riff writer. So, yeah, deal with it. And what's even better is, as Cody will know, what's even better is the Anthrax cover of Parasite, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're welcome, Wayne. I was covering your face with the banner, so I canceled the banner. And I hope at some point we get to the 4 albums we were supposed to talk about, Kiefer.
I got a couple more. Queen 2.
Oh, yeah.
The best Queen album. The best Queen album, Fight Me, You're Wrong. Just March of the Black Queen is the best Queen song. Fight Me, You're Wrong. Ogre Battles, number 2. Just a fantastic album. I didn't put Sheer Heart Attack on here either for some reason. I don't know why. It's a great record too. What else do I have here? Steely Dan, Pretzel Logic, Speak the Devil. My least favorite out of the first 7 Steely Dan albums, and it's still pretty great. So, yeah, although that's a terrible cover, and why is there a dude in a stocking hat selling? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. This would probably be my album of the year for 74. Robin Trower, Bridge of Sighs.
Yes.
Phenomenal album. Phenomenal guitar playing. Phenomenal vocals from Jimmy Dewar. Every track on this is amazing. Go buy it. And how many more do I have? Oh, Zappa.
Oh, yeah.
I was lobbying to put this as a 5th album today, and somehow we just decided not to. It's just a great record. I'm sure Be About is really happy right now that I mentioned this. So, yeah.
I'm going to give a disclosure.
Yeah,
I'm going to give a disclosure. If that Frank Zappa album was in the pile today, that would be my number 1.
Yep. A couple more quick plugs. Definitely not 1974 prog rock, but if you like some prog metal, go hear the new Between the Buried and Me. It's amazing. Alex and I will be seeing them in Columbus in October, and I can't wait. So, yeah, this record's amazing. And go Bengals. Who did?
How about that?
Okay. There, we're back to normal. So you want me to go with my order now?
Please, and make it snappy.
Yeah. I just like reading the negative comments after every show.
Yeah, it is.
So growing up, being a youngster, my dad had on the I guess what you could call classic rock radio all the time. And there were a series of bands that he would always change the station on. And two of these bands are on today's list. So my number 4, with all due respect to the late Rick Davies. Rick Davies is, or I'm confusing the dude from the Kinks and the dude from Supertramp. My number 4 is Supertramp. When I first heard this record, I thought it was the worst record I had ever heard in my life. I absolutely hated it. I couldn't stand it. Like I love it now. Like I put it on yesterday morning. I'm like, this is awesome. And it's like one of the greatest sounding records ever. Like great Ken Scott production, Hide in Your Shell, Asylum, Rudy, If Everyone Was Listening, title track. But it's my number 4, so deal with it. My number 3 is The Gentle Giant. Personally, I think this is Gentle Giant's best album. And I should say my top 3 flipped all week. It was going back and forth. But Proclamation, is that like not the greatest Gentle Giant song ever?
Travis Scott liked it.
It's either that.
Yeah.
It's either that or On Reflection for the best Gentle Giant.
Yeah, On Reflection's great.
That, Cogs and Cogs. I mean, every track is just fantastic. It's a phenomenal album. But my top 3 flipped all week. So I have a confession also in that room over there. I fell asleep last night listening to this album. And I had to wake up at 7:30 this morning and replay the Icon so I could hear it start to finish before I made it through it. I had no excuse to stay up because for some reason the Buckeyes game was not on cable, not on the Big Ten channel, so I couldn't get it. So I had no reason to stay up, so I just fell asleep. My number 2 is Utopia. Speaking of my dad, he absolutely loves Todd Rundgren. Something Anything is the first record that I ever heard. So, phenomenal album. I love every track. Freedom Fighters, probably the weak track, and even then still, I love it. The Icon has as far as 30-minute epics go, just fantastic. How good. For a 30-minute piece to never really repeat itself. And I love that part where it goes do bo 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 do. That part is just so awesome. So sorry haters, but my number 1, I think I'm going to score some brownie points with Brent. I'm going to score some brownie points with some of our viewers. I was reading the Facebook comments this week, and Anthony Ferraro, our good friend from over at Sea of Tranquility in the Prog seat, posted in the comments, one has Mary Braun, the others don't. So I'm going Kansas at number 1, which nobody ever expected.
Didn't see that one coming.
Considering what I said on my first big panel here about Kansas.
Well, at least the album isn't going flying this time.
That's right.
I love this record. Every track. Some of the boogie tunes are just okay. But I noted this more for Scott and than anybody else. But I think that the bass line in Biloxi's sounds like a Steve Harris bass line.
Yeah.
You know,
There's a little gallop to it. Yes, sir. I totally hear it.
Which is just proof that you don't have to be American to enjoy Kansas.
There you go. There you go.
Mary Braun is just like a top 5 song of the 70s.
Yeah,
and the
absolutely.
last 2 tracks are amazing. So yeah, you guys can circle back around to me at the end.
All right, great job. Wonderful job. You know, the only reason, by the way, we let Kiefer go long is the numbers always go up when he's talking. I watch him. His number, when I'm talking, the numbers go down. When he's talking, the numbers go up. So I got to be very careful about who follows that up because that was amazing. But you know what? We go from young Kiefer, who's kind of inexperienced in the world, with a guy who is a professor of music at Arkansas State University at BB. It's Dr. Brent Bristow. Brent, how you doing? Are you working hard, getting ready for that first ever Emerald City Council gig?
Yeah, I am, and actually, so one thing that I've been working on here in the last couple of days is thanks to Paul Bilatovich, I'm using the same software he uses with Carl Palmer. He connected me with all that. Cool. So if you listen to the album, there's several places where you hear sax and a synthesizer doubling it. That's not another person playing. That's the synth being triggered by my live sax sound. And I'm getting that set up where we can pull that off live. So that's going to be something that we're going to have going. Yeah, getting into this, I just want to say real quick, one of the albums that from this year that Kiefer somehow missed is David Bowie Diamond Dogs. And
I've never heard it. That's why I missed it.
Oh, you need to check it out. So, Bowie was never Prog, but boy, he definitely flirted with it a lot. Yeah. And this was one of those, when you listen to Future Legend going into Diamond Dogs and then Sweet Thing into Candidate back into Sweet Thing. And the other thing about this album, as I understand, as I read many years ago, was that originally this was going to be a concept album based on 1984, the book. Yeah. And George Orwell's wife said no. And so we only ended up with the two songs, 1984 and Big Brother. But I would really have loved to have heard what that concept album would have been like with him. Bowie, I've said many times, particularly as a lyricist, the three biggest influences I have are Neil Peart, Peter Gabriel, David Bowie. So I would definitely put him as one of my top influences. But Diamond Dogs is a great album, not a Prog album, but it comes really darn close in a lot of areas. So
that's a great record.
Yeah. So I would, as far as the four that we're talking about, I would agree with Alex here. My number 4 would be Todd Rundgren. So great album. Been a while since I've listened to it, but it's always one of those good sort of immersive albums, but it's not one that I gravitate to a lot. Kind of like what we talked about. I think it was Brad talked about, like which one would you go and grab? Which one are you more likely to listen to? Number 3, which I only have on CD and it's stored away somewhere, is the Supertramp Crime of the Century. Great album. I don't have it in my vinyl collection. I probably need to do that at some point. As far as the top 2 goes, boy, this was a tough choice. Because one of the big things, if you ever read Kerry Livgren's biography, one of the things you hear there is that one of his major influences was actually Gentle Giant. So you can hear a lot of it. You listen to Cogs versus Cogs, or Cogs and Cogs, and then go and listen to some of the other, Journey from Marybron, some of the other things. You're going to hear the influence of Gentle Giant in Kansas. It's definitely there, and it's definitely strong. But just comparing album to album, for number 2, I had to go with Gentle Giant, and this was a tough choice. Ask me tomorrow, those could flip. But of course, as you guys know, I can't play in a band with a Livgren, and Jake Livgren will be here with us next week.
Yeah,
and, we're excited about that. But I'm going to go with Kansas as my number 1. I'm actually even wearing my Kansas shirt. I just saw the current lineup. Joe Denton was nice enough to invite me to the show, and got to go backstage and meet Tom and Dan, and that was a lot of fun hearing.
How was Scott on guitar?
Scott was not there.
No.
This was before he joined. So Rich was actually there. So Rich was actually there. Yeah. So this was right at the end, like the 3rd week of July.
Oh, right. Okay.
Around in that area. Yeah. So Rich was actually there. So I didn't get to meet him or hear him play. But as far as the first Kansas album goes, one of the things that I will say on this, when I really was getting into Kansas and bought this on CD, actually, I think I got it for Christmas back, in the late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around there. It didn't grab me like some of the other ones at the time. And I think part of that had to do with the fact some of the songs, Journey from Marybron, the live version of that on 2 for the Show is just, phenomenal. And when I heard the studio version, I was kind of like, it's good, but it's not as good as the live version. And so I spent a lot of years kind of feeling like this was kind of a down album for them. But then when I started going back and filling in my vinyl collection, I listened to it again and sort of fell in love with it really for the first time. It didn't grab me the first time, and I guess I'm just listening to it with different ears now. But
I love it when that happens.
Yeah.
Especially from a band you already love. So
Right.
it's not really all that hard to figure out the first Kansas album if you already love Song for America, Mask, Leftoverture, and
Exactly.
Point of No Return. I love it when that one album that you hated kind of sort of for years from a band that you love,
Yeah.
all of a sudden comes into focus. It's so much fun. Wow, that's weird
Yeah.
that it was that record for you.
Yeah. Well, and I keep hoping every time that I go to Topeka and hang out with Jake, we always talk about the possibility of going over to Kerry's studio and hanging out with him, and scheduling just never really works out. So I keep hoping one of these days, Kerry being one of my favorite songwriters of all time, that I'm going to get to go and hang out with a couple of Livgrens.
Or at least they get Kerry as a featured artist on a new Emerald City Council record.
And and I keep asking Jake, have you played Kerry anything from?
He needs to hear it.
And he said I have not, and I'm like, we need to fix that. He needs to check it out. So I keep hoping to get an opportunity.
He'd probably say yes.
He probably would, yeah.
He probably say yes. And this is 2025. I know how it is if I see, Ross Jennings is singing on this track. I might just listen to that band that I've never heard of before,
right?
Just for that name recognition. So.
Absolutely. So it's a possibility. We can make it happen.
You never know. But what is an absolute certainty is that next Sunday, Emerald City Council, the whole band, right, Brent? We're going to have everybody in tow.
That's right. It's going to be all five of us. It's going to be me, Jake Livgren, Noah Hengate, Seth Hankerson, Jeremy Nichols, and also as our utility guy joining us for the show, Garth Yelty. You may not know the name, but Garth was actually the guy who set up the entire keyboard rig and samples for the last two Rush tours, and he's going to be joining us on keyboard and guitar. So
you might know a little something about how to do this in a professional live setting. Very exciting.
Yes.
That's this Sunday on the show. It's going to be awesome. But you know what is kind of not awesome is Wayne's body language. Has he even moved in the last 15 minutes? Is he still awake? Wayne,
I'm awake.
Are you okay?
Yeah, okay.
Ravens fans pass out on the show. That's just the way it is.
Right. Well, you know what, Wayne? It's been a rough year for all things in Western Canada. It's got to be nerve-wracking, wondering if you're going to be absorbed in the United States of America at any minute. So the stage is yours, Wayne. You can talk about whatever you want. You can talk about the plight of your beloved Baltimore Ravens all day long.
Yeah, it was a tough one, but I'm used to it. They're once or twice a year choke job, so used to it. So it was interesting coming into this because I'm familiar with all these albums, and it was really hard to rank these because they all are phenomenal records in their own right. We could probably do, like you said, Scott, probably 10 episodes on 1974. It was such a good year. But thinking about this, number one for me is pretty much a no-brainer, but the other three are really hard to choose. Number four, probably one of the coolest album covers I've ever seen. Todd Rundgren's Utopia, the album art on that. I remember listening to this, and it took me a little bit to get into it, but once I did, I'm like, there is some genius here, and made me check out a little bit more of Todd Rundgren and really like what I hear from him. Number three is Kansas. Journey for Maria Braun is probably one of my favorite all-time Kansas songs. That is just a phenomenal track. I get what you're saying with the whole Gentle Giant influence in here, because I remember I listened to that and then listened to The Power and Glory, and I'm like, I can hear it.
Yeah.
In there, definitely. Number two, The Power and the Glory. Proclamation, probably one of the most funnest songs. Love Gentle Giant. They're one of those bands where it's really hard to find a bad like unlistenable Gentle Giant record, you can always find at least something in every one.
Yeah.
That you do like. There is one, Giant for a Day.
I didn't say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The K-Tel record.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, people.
But yeah, even Civilization, I think, was their last one they did. I actually really dig that record.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Quite a bit. But number one for me, I had a roommate when I first moved out that would play the song. He'd play two songs, Africa by Toto and Dreamer by Supertramp on repeat. And I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to listen to the Supertramp band ever. But then one day doing reactions, I sat down and listened to the title track, Crime of the Century. And it just completely blew my mind. And I went back, listened to the whole thing in context. And I love it. They said this album was pretty much based off of how much they loved Brain Damage and Eclipse from Dark Side of the Moon, which was a huge influence on them, and said it changed their whole career. And you can definitely hear for Supertramp and for a lot of prog bands that it didn't need to be these 30-minute complex songs to get it across. They could make it a poppy record and have all these interesting things going on. But to me, Crime of the Century, it's just fantastic. And the cover art of even being in space, you're still trapped in a prison, is fantastic. But those are my four. That's how I'd rank them.
Well done. Well, you've almost redeemed yourself and not one single. You're dead wrong. It almost felt like yeah, that was a good list. That was a good list. I see Dr. Brad Stone's mic is muted. Hopefully he'll unmute his mic and join us here as the light has crept. You see what I was talking about? That beautiful morning California light has now traveled from his forehead down to his chest, as I was hoping it would, just in time for him to read us off his thoughts about the subject today. Brad, how are you?
I'm doing well, and I wasn't trying to. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't trying to pretend I had a halo on my head. So I, next time you invite me to be on, Scott, I think what I'll do is I'll prepare a slideshow of 25 jazz and jazz fusion records, and go through those, and then your numbers are going to go up again, just like with Kiefer. So
exactly.
But I'm going to stick to these four.
I forgot Return to Forever too. I don't know how I forgot that.
Unforgivable.
Yep.
So I'm gonna take the same tack that I took last week, and what's the order that I would put these on in 2025? I actually dug out all my original vinyl that I bought when these records came out. So, so for me, okay, I do not mean to revive the whole, is it prog? Are they prog? Are they not prog? It's all semantics anyway, right? But I've just never thought of Supertramp as being a prog rock band. That's just me. It's just me. Okay. I think that they're, with all due respect to Rick Davies, rest in peace. I think they're great songwriters. I think of them more as a pop band, but this record is my number 4. Okay. It's a nice record. Not something that I've gone back to in a long time, but when it came out, I listened to it a lot. So that's my number 4. My number 3, and I kind of hate to put this at number 3, but it really it has partly to do with the recording and the sound quality, but that's Utopia. And the reason being that, a track that's over 30 minutes long on a side of an LP back in those days, I mean, whoever cut the lacquer on that was genius, because how did they do it? But the problem is that when you listen to it, there's a lot of groove noise. I mean, I'm talking about the original vinyl. A lot of groove noise. There's a lot of crosstalk from one groove to another because the amount of vinyl material between the grooves is so small, so thin, that you get this crosstalk effect. Now, do any of you guys know, because I haven't looked this up, has this been remastered and put out on
Yes.
CD?
Yes.
Yeah.
I need to get a
It's been
copy of that.
remastered, and I actually got the original cassette of that. And it was actually way better than the original vinyl because it didn't have, that problem of, getting the stuff from the groove right next door, because you could hear all of that stuff, and it was kind of messing with your brain after a little while. But
right. But anyway, it's a fantastic. I mean, it's a genius album, and I think sometimes, those of us who are prog rock lovers, kind of forget about Utopia. But I ended up seeing them live at Indiana University's auditorium. Later edition of them with Roger Powell, and it was just a phenomenal concert. So next up,
what's wild, by the way? Sorry to interrupt you, but I was just thinking about this. Initiation, which was Todd's solo record that came out after this.
37-minute track.
The runtime on that single LP is 68 minutes and 11 seconds.
It's longer than the Todd double album that came out in '74.
Wow, amazing. So this next record, this band, this particular record for this band was really special to me because thinking back when this came out, I think this was the record that really got me into this band, and that's Gentle Giant's Power and the Glory. It's, what can you say? It's already been said. It's a phenomenal record. I do want to say, Kiefer had mentioned the best Gentle Giant songs, and On Reflection, which is not on this album, but have you guys seen the live version on YouTube of On Reflection? It's so much better than the LP version.
Totally different. Like they wrote whole new parts and stuff. Just awesome.
And they're swapping around on instruments and
don't forget the use of recorder.
The multiple recorders on stage.
Carrie Minier playing cello at first, and it's phenomenal. So that, obviously my number one is Kansas. When I think of great rock first albums, and I think of, the first album by Black Sabbath, the first album by Journey, the first album by Queen, those are, to me, phenomenal first albums. This might be the best of them all. I mean, for a first album, it's phenomenal. It really, really is. So you guys have, already made a lot of comments about the great songs on here. Janice brought up in the chat about how she loves Kerry Livgren. He's a very capable keyboardist, very capable guitarist, but a phenomenal songwriter. I mean, all the best Kansas stuff over the years has been penned by Kerry, in my opinion, or the majority of it. So definitely a record that's near and dear to my heart. So there you go. Thank you very much.
Unbelievable. I can't argue with that at number one. No, sirree, I cannot. Cody, you might have a different take. The youngsters, I love hearing what Kiefer and Wayne and Cody, these youngins, what they have to say about records that came out before we were even born, man. 1974 was such an amazing year. And it's just amazing how, what year were you born, Cody?
What year was I born?
Yeah.
1998.
Okay. So you're talking about 24 years after you were born. I'm trying to think of records that came out 24 years before I was born. That was like the 30s or something, man. I don't
Got some Duke Ellington going on there, Scott?
Yeah, I have no idea. Pre-Glenn Miller, I don't know a whole lot about. But so that's what's kind of cool about going back, looking at these records from a specific snapshot of time. Today it's 1974, and hearing a multi-generational perspective on these records. Cody, the floor is yours.
Well, just to sort of riff off of what you just said, there was something that happened in the post-Beatles wake of music. That the Beatles, and even as far back as Elvis, the Beatles, then the Doors, and then Led Zeppelin, and then you get everything that came in the wake of the Beatles' influence. And so it's like, okay, we don't have to just, sing Four on the Floor songs.
Okay, that's a fair point, because I will contend no Beatles, no Prog.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
You could also make a case no Elvis, no Beatles.
Yes, that is also.
And therefore, no Elvis, no Prog. The King of Prog, we've just found the King of Prog. It's Elvis Presley all along. I didn't know this. Thank you for pointing that out.
There is a thread. I mean, and you could go back as far as Elvis, and then through Elvis you get Elton John, you get Beatles, Stones, that sort of thing. And so when these bands came out in the 60s, 70s, 80s, they came out in the wake of that, being directly influenced by that stuff still to this day, because these bands didn't realize at the time that they were creating something that would stand the test of time. People are going to get married to these songs. People are going to have big life events happen to these songs. Things are going to happen. And
I think some of them, maybe they didn't know. I think that's the whole point of Prog. I think a lot of these people had huge, pretentious musical egos where when they were creating this stuff, they delusionally thought, we'll be listening to this stuff 100 years from now, or at least that was the intention with a lot of these people. They didn't think this was throwaway music. I think they were very much knowing that they were swinging for the fences, trying to be music that would be remembered for the next 10 generations. And here we go, proving it today.
Well, if I can interrupt, it's interesting because Noah has told me that his dad, David Hungate, when they were recording the Toto 4 album, was coming home every night and complaining to Noah's mom that this album's going to be a flop. There's no single on this album. Nobody's
nothing good on that Toto 4 album.
Yeah, I think sometimes the things we think are going to be huge aren't, and then the things that we think are just going to kind of be okay tend to be the things that everyone tends to gravitate towards. So you never really know.
Yeah, that's true. And I can agree with what you said as well, Scott. I mean, obviously, Kansas would have come out knowing that Journey from Mariabron is fantastic, right? Like there's no way that you're going to sit in the mixing booth and listen to the final master cut of an album and go, this sucks.
There's a story, Cody, that when they listened to the final mix for the first time, the bandmates were all sitting around saying, we knew we had a good lead singer in Steve Walsh, but until it was all there, balanced, mixed, perfect, and they were able to sit back and listen to it, they're like, we have the best singer on earth.
Yeah.
I mean, that realization, what does that do to a band? When we're not just, come on, man. 1974, there were a whole bunch of bands getting signed to real bad record deals, putting out real bad debut albums. And can you imagine listening to that back in the studio saying, yeah, that's just our first bite at the apple, yo. Yeah. We're going to be at this for a while. Just watch out. I can't imagine what that felt like. I was never in a band that was even 1/10 as good as Kansas, but yeah.
And that, what, Kansas got so good that they would actually get better than this. And for some people, this would be the top of the pile. Now, so I'm going to get into my list now, and enough of my hoopla. I'm just saying that all of this music, the fact that it has lived on over generations is really inspiring and astounding, and people are still picking up these records and hearing them. So I'm going to start from my 4 to number 1. I love all of them. I'm going to start with the Kansas record here. It's not my favorite Kansas album, but it has some really fantastic moments. Can I Tell You is a great song. Obviously, Journey from Mariabron, and especially, like Brent, you were mentioning the live version.
Yeah,
you can't touch that. That's wrong.
Right.
It's so good that it's wrong. Yeah. But then there's a couple of the sort of jiggy tunes, like Bringing It Back. It's okay. It's all right. But then the ballad like Lonely Wind. Then the Death of Mother Nature Suite, just awesome stuff. It's a really great record. Mm-hmm. And as we progress forward,
the other day I was reading an interview with Mike Romeo from Symphony X, and he was talking about how how big of an influence Kansas was on writing local melodies and music for Symphony X.
I can hear that. Big time. Big time. Next up is a record from a genius producer, as well as doing amazing records on his own. He also produced one of my favorite records of all time, which is Bat Out of Hell. Todd Rundgren at number 3 for me. I mean, this guy purposefully, good man. And of course,
Always there.
he would purposefully, like, it wasn't an accident that he put 30 minutes of music on one side. He intentionally did that just because he could. And in the case of the Meatloaf record, they had so much material that he actually had to slow down the recording in order to fit it onto vinyl, so it plays back a bit faster than they recorded it at. But that's just part of his amazing studio tricks. He's a great producer, and that is a trick that he would start on A Wizard, a True Star, and then this just comes out of nowhere, man. I wasn't ready for this. The Icon, Utopia theme, just the first 14 minutes, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's a tremendous record, and it's Todd just going, okay, you know what? I've done the pop thing. I had, and my favorite record, like Kiefer was mentioning, my favorite record of Todd's is Something Anything. It's just probably his most Beatles, McCartney-ish like record. But then he just goes on a total left turn with these records here. And this thing is absolutely tremendous. But it's number 3 because there's 2 records that have kind of been more ingrained in my DNA, if you will. Like this next one. This is one of my mom's favorite records. I know I'm always talking about my dad's taste, and he loves this record too, but this is one of my mom's favorite albums of all time. So I grew up listening to Supertramp a lot. We had one of their greatest hits CDs, and we just listened to that all the time. And she still owns a copy of this CD, and she doesn't have a lot of CDs. Crime of the Century. You know what? I mean, some people say it is prog, some people say it's not. It's that perfect balance of being musically interesting and not bland. It's, you know, it's not 4 on the floor pop, but it's that marriage between prog and pop somewhere on the scale, and it just sits nicely, comfortably in that accessible but still very intelligent zone. The production on this is astounding. The sound of this record is amazing. R.I.P. Rick Davies. Asylum has always been one of my favorite Supertramp songs. There's a lot of Rick Davies on this record, actually, in a band that kind of seems to have a lot of Roger Hodgson. I'm looking at the track list and going, oh, there's actually a lot of Rick Davies on the...
Yeah, but you're right. The balance of Crime of the Century between Davies and Hodgson, to me, is the perfectly balanced record, because it does seem Hodgson is kind of elbows his way into the mix too much on certain records.
They would actually get more prog, in my opinion. Well, obviously Rudy is pretty prog, but they go on the next record. And you think of the next record, and you got Fool's Overture. I'm sorry, that's progressive rock. There's no way around that.
That's not on the next record.
It's on Even in the Quietest Moments.
Yeah, the next record was
Crisis. What Crisis was the next record?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got the years mixed up. I was thinking, yeah.
I hate doing that to people. Yeah, no, I know.
No, I appreciate that. No, I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, School, Bloody Well Right, Hide in Your Shell, the whole thing is fantastic, and this holds a special place in my heart because you know how much my mom loved it, and I love it too. It's just an amazing record. But my number 1...
I'm going to defend Cody here because for years, I forgot about Crisis, What Crisis. There's certain albums that you just don't think about a whole lot.
Love
For
that
whatever
album.
reason, my brain kind of skips over it too.
You know what? I got the years mixed up, so I was thinking that Even in the Quietest Moments came out first. I was thinking that between Quietest Moments and Breakfast in America, I was thinking that Crisis, What Crisis was in the middle of that. So I just made a mistake with the years. Number 1. I think this is the first number 1. I've been doing my best.
I think so. Keeper's keeping score. So when we're done, Keeper, you'll have a final tally for us.
I will.
Look, I'm insane putting this at number 1. this is just this is a crazy record. I absolutely love everything about this album. Is it my favorite Gentle Giant album? It's either this or Octopus. Like, that's how close this is. I think this record is absolutely fantastic. There's no song over, what, 5 minutes? 6 minutes?
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs from Carrie Minier is Aspirations.
Yeah.
It's on this. And I was listening to this record the other night, and it's just like, you get all this madness, then you get that one beautiful track that just totally takes you on a different part of the journey before you're thrown back into stuff like Cogs and that sort of thing. But I love this thing, man. And this is an incredible record.
It is amazing. It's an amazing record. It's the record that Derek Shulman once said he thought the band sounded lazy on.
Geez.
When I had Derek on the program, man, I was kicking myself that I didn't remember that old quote from him, because I was going to call him out, because that's the last adjective in the world I would use to describe the power and the glory. You can call it a lot of things: dissonant, noisy, weird, obtuse. There's a lot of different things. I love that label. Very cool. Yep. Very cool.
It's on the British label.
Lazy ain't one of them.
No.
Great job, Cody. Hey, Kevin, you are up next.
All right.
The boss man.
It is interesting. I think I'm the oldest one here. Maybe, I don't know. I turned 66 in a couple of days.
Maybe.
And so we absorb this music differently, obviously, than the Codys and the Kiefers of the world and the Waynes. And so it kind of impacts us a certain way. Of these 4 albums, 2 of them were my first experience with the band. 2 of them, I was just waiting for them. I couldn't wait to hear them. So we'll get into it. So for my countdown here, coming in at number 4, and I'm a huge fan of Todd Rundgren, but I'm going to go with Utopia. And I was a fan at the time. Something Anything, I agree. Love that album. Wizard of True Star. Those 2 albums I really loved before the Utopia album came out. So I love this album. I could do without, to be honest. I would have preferred that they left those 2 middle songs out, just bookend it with the other, split it up a little better so the vinyl could be good. But the bookend, the front and the back, brilliant masterpiece, amazing music from Todd on that one. For number 3 for me is going to be the Kansas album. I love Kansas. This was my first, obviously, because this was their debut album. And I know Scott's talked about that the way this album hits you with that first song, and I agree. And I will say the differences with this album, bringing in the violin. As a kid hearing that blew my mind. What the heck is this? So you stood up and you paid attention, and so I really love that. And then they went on to have a series of so many great albums. This was not going to be my favorite Kansas album, but it's certainly a favorite album of mine. Number 2 for me, which also then tells you my number 1 pick, is going to be Gentle Giant. Again, I was already familiar with Octopus, loved Octopus. So this was an album I was waiting for and anticipating, and I was not disappointed when Proclamation hit that needle. So wonderful, wonderful album from Gentle Giant. And then so my number 1 is going to be Supertramp. And I talked about this last time, where cleaning those theaters, and we would listen to this album over and over, and I absolutely love it. We've talked a lot about the songs on it. Nobody's talked about School. That's the song that just sold me, man. When I love it when a prog band does Pink Floyd was masterful at it. You do the meandering, you're coming in chill, and then bam, I Can See You in the Morning when you come to school. That beat and that hit is just so amazing. That sticks with you. So love this album. What I did is I also took where we started last week. So I've compared them next to each other, and I'll show you if I were to combine the 2, where would I end up? So I would make 3 moves if I were to rank these all together. The first thing I would do is I would take Camel, and I would move it into the 7th spot. So my 4 for both end up at my 7 and 8 spot. The next move that I would make, I'm going to get hate for this one, Jeff, is I'd move Relay over. I knew it. And then the crowd goes wild. And then the last move I'll make is I'll take King Crimson. And I'll bring it down a little bit. Let me get my animations going here. And then here's my last move. Oh, wait, I'm doing it backwards. That's
Yeah.
Here we go.
There we go.
And then I would move King Crimson down. And so that's where my top 8 would end up. So that is 1974. Boom.
Boom. You know, I agree with your number 1. That's about it. I agree
Well,
with his
and
number
let me
1.
say something about Yes. One of the reasons I think Relayer does that with me, Yes has so much other stuff that I love so much.
Yeah, and,
Fragile,
you know,
Close to the Edge. That for me, Relayer, I love that album. It's amazing. It's brilliant. You can't argue with it. But when I'm stacking up against this other music, there's just already so much Yes stuff that I'm going to tip my hat to.
You know what? There's going to be a little bit of that logic actually guiding my picks, Kevin. It is something that I was thinking about. That is, you know, where does this album stack up in a band's discography? Because if it's like the greatest thing they ever did, maybe you feel a lot differently about it in, you know, relation to these other records. And it shouldn't. It should have nothing to do with it at all, but it does at number 4, perhaps because it's the least proggiest of the 4, I guess. You know, I'm the prog guy. I love me some Supertramp, but I'm going to put Crime of the Century in the number 4 spot. It's a fantastic record. I love every song on here. You were absolutely right about School. Don't do this. Don't do that. That was the exact moment I became a Supertramp fan.
Big time.
Right then and there, I'm home from school, got the headphones on. That part of that song comes on. Yeah, fan for life, absolutely.
I love the guitar effects with your voice.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I got the wow wow thing down. You should hear me do the fake saxophone, Brent.
Oh, yeah.
Thing to behold. Oh, yes, indeed. At number 3, again, maybe penalized because there's so much great Gentle Giant material out there that not even my favorite Gentle Giant album. That's probably going to be Freehand, maybe Octopus.
Yeah.
So now we're in 3rd place, but In a Glass House is awfully good too. Oh, come on. This album is absolutely ridiculous. I love everything about it. I love me some Gentle Giant. There's nothing I mean, Cogs and Cogs is on here, right? That's the record. Like you said, you don't really want to start people off with Gentle Giant. You know what? I do. I point to Cogs and Cogs. Here you go. It's a short little 3-minute track, and it covers a lot of sonic territory that Prog is all about. A lot of changes, a lot of weird stuff, but still kind of in its own weird way. It's very catchy. Oh, Gentle Giant, peak Gentle Giant. So how's that number 3? That doesn't even make any sense. At number 2, one of the greatest albums in the history of mankind. Todd Rundgren's an absolute madman. The 30 minutes of the icon. 30 of the greatest minutes in the history of mankind. I don't even mind the bad production. That's how good the songs are here. That's how good the performance is in here. The Utopia theme, really, really cool. I'm kind of with you. Freak Parade. What's the other song? Freedom Fighters.
Freedom Fighters.
They're good. They're good. I'm kind of with you. It'd be nice if it were just those 2 epics and maybe you did something about that. But whatever. What we have right here is just amazing. The icon, when them themes finally do come back in reprise and they start stacking all these themes on top of each other, and it's like, this just sounds amazing. You could only do this in 1974, right? Todd had been listening to a lot of Mahu Vishnu and a lot of Yes.
He was listening to. I know he was. It sounds like he was listening to a lot of Hymn of the Seventh Galaxy. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah, a little bit of that too, probably, right?
Galaxy, it's amazing.
That leaves my number 1. Big shocker. It's the first Kansas album. You know, the things that people don't like about this are the things that I love about it. The J.J. Cale track actually makes perfect sense following that great opening track of Can I Tell You, that just it gets you from that first moment Phil Earhart hits that double snare hit. You know you're in for something special because that snare sounds so sweet. And then what do you get? A guitar and a violin and a bass and a violin? What in the world? Oh, the band's called Kansas. Makes total sense. You see them, they're looking all like hillbillies and whatnot. Oh, come on, man. People say this isn't classic rock. Yeah, it is classic rock. They say it's not prog, right? And who was it? Was that you, Cody, that said, I guess they weren't listening to this album, right? They just haven't heard Kansas, clearly.
I
If
mean,
you don't think they're Prog, you haven't listened to it.
That was Alex.
if
Yeah, I mean,
That was
but-
Alex. Yeah, you're dead
I
right.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree with that. If you listen to any of the first couple of Kansas records and say that's not progressive rock,
What am I missing? That they think that they listen to this and all they hear is classic rock. I don't get it. I don't get the mind state
Dust in the Wind, and they're like, that's it.
of any song with Aperçu and Bellix's and Death of Mother Nature Suite. And I didn't even mention Maria Brania. Come on, man. And you know what? To me, Lonely Wind and The Pilgrimage, those two shorter tracks, might be my two favorite songs on the album. This album is absolutely perfect from start to finish. I wouldn't change that one note on it. And as I've said before, it is my most listened to album. If I add up all the times I've listened to a record in my entire life, the first Kansas album comes in at number one. And I'm also smart enough to recognize that it might actually not be their best album. Left Overture is so perfect sonically, and it actually moved the needle culturally, and it charted. So it's hard for me to ignore the greatness of Left Overture. But for me personally, music is a personal thing. It's it's how it makes you feel, what it does to you on the inside. And that first Kansas album kills me every single time those harmonies kick in on Lonely Wind, and you finally get the high note. Oh no. Yeah, it's that come to Buddha moment that Pitchfork talked about when they talked about prog rock, when they weren't dissing all over it. They said we were all waiting for those moments, and all four of those albums have those moments in spades. That's why we picked them. Next week on the show, boys and girls, a special treat for all you little kiddies out there. We're going to have, for the very first time, Emerald City Council, the entire band in one place. Brent, isn't that exciting?
It is. It'll be the first time that we've done interviews where we've zoomed in with 2 or 3 of us. This will be the first time with all 5 of us together. We're very excited.
Oh, it's very, very cool. The debut Emerald City Council album, Motion Carries, an absolute treat. My favorite debut album of 2024, as a matter of fact. Their very first gig is coming up. What's the date on that, Brent?
September 23rd.
September 23rd. So if you're if you're anywhere in the southern U.S., but in particular, if you're in the central Arkansas area, please do check this out. And how much is it going to cost you to get in, Brent?
It is. Not only is it free, if you show up around 5 or 5:30, there will be some free hamburgers, hot dogs. We'll feed you to come and listen.
Wow.
Wow.
There you go.
But, I mean,
Better
you
be an
can't-
Emerald
right?
City Council fan.
That's right. That's right.
How far are you from Eureka Springs, Brent?
About 2.5 hours.
Oh, okay. I found myself there one time for a business trip, and I knew nothing about it, but obviously you probably know their Passion play.
Yeah.
That live thing, that totally blew my mind in the middle of nowhere that they did that. So
Yeah. Al Capone was up in that area back in the day and everything. Yeah, we were just there back in March doing a little vacation over spring break.
So
yeah.
people take a little trip to Arkansas, go check out Emerald City, and then go swing up and check out Passion play.
Right.
I'm assuming they still do that because
They
this
do,
was
yeah.
years ago
Yeah.
that I saw it. So
Yeah.
I might have
Alright.
to fly in from California.
We need the stats.
That's right. Hey, Kiefer, you're going to close out the show with the final stats. You've been keeping tally this whole show. Tell me, who was in 4th place, sir?
All right. First of all, real quick, I have Davy Cretan's order. His order.
Okay. Let's hear the great Davy Cretan. Yeah, sure.
His order is the same as Alex. His number 4 is Utopia. His number 3 is Gentle Giant. His number 2 is Kansas. His number 1 is Supertramp. All right, let's go through the stats. In 4th place with 15 points, we have the Utopia. Tied for 2nd place, we have Gentle Giant and Supertramp with 24 points. And with 27 points, winning the day's album battle, Kansas is self-titled.
Woo, yeah.
Do we have a point comparison from last week?
Yeah, who
Pardon?
won last week?
Who won last
Yes.
week?
Lamb, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
The
yes.
Lamb lies down on Broadway versus the Kansas debut. Boy, that would be a tough one for me personally, but I think the Lamb would probably take it for me.
Yep. I will say Wayne and I had the exact same rating. So good job, Wayne.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm not wrong this time.
Well, very, very cool. I will see Brent. We're going to talk about, I guess we'll have Kevin on the show too, right, Kevin?
Right.
It's up to you guys.
I don't know what. I don't
Sounds
know
like you're going to have
doing.
Are you going to all be in the same window, Brant?
Yeah.
Are you going to
Yeah,
be?
we're going to be in the same room. Yeah.
So it'll just be the two of you if I don't show up. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll figure out who else is going to be on, what we're going to do. But either way, it's going to be amazing. Emerald City Council live on the big show. Anyway, boys and girls, for Kevin, Kiefer, Cody, Alex, Brad, Brent, and Wayne, thanks for joining us. I'll see you tomorrow, and I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, but I'll have some awesome content because that's what we do at the number.
I think tomorrow you're doing Elvis started Prog.
This is the number 2 rated prog rock channel according to Gemini. So we're moving up. We're moving up, boys and girls. I was number 7 about a month ago. We're up to number 2 already. So anyway, I'll see you then. Peace in the Middle East. I love you.
Go Bengals. Who day?
Love one another.